Now, if you look at the border of the camera, notice that there's a lot of negative space here. There's a lot of negative space at the top. And when I'm going to bring up the animatic. Notice that if I go to frame number 1, notice how the camera is framed around him. The camera, you see that the camera border is up at the top here, and it's closer to the side. When we look at our camera, if I was to mask this camera, go to camera mask, this is how the camera is at the first frame. And we need to match it up precisely with how it looks here on the first frame. So what that requires for us to do is to modify, to zoom the camera in closer onto him, because right now the camera is zoomed out too far. So we need to zoom the camera closer onto the character to frame it in accordance with the animatic. I'm going to unmask my camera. Now, in our network view, I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to add a camera, because right now we have the Dino Boy layer here, and we have a color card in our network view, and we have a default drawing layer. I'm going to click the plus one down here. I'm going to click on the plus button. So the plus button right here, and I'm going to click on camera. And what that does is that it adds a camera into our network view. And if we go to our layer, we can see that the camera is added. So whatever is visible in our network view is also visible in our layer panel. So we can see that we have the audio track, we have the Dino Boy group, we have the regular drawing layer here, we have the color card which is here, and now we have the camera layer that is also visible in our network view. We're going to peg the camera. We're going to add a peg, because notice that whenever I select the camera, you see that the border around the camera is now purple. That means that the camera is selected, but there's no way for me to actually interact with the camera in terms of zooming it closer onto the character. So I'm going to select the camera, and I'm going to press Control P on my keyboard, and what that does is that it adds a peg to the camera, and this peg is responsible for animating the camera. So let me do that again. I'm going to delete the peg. You simply select the camera in your network view, and you press Control, you hold down and press Control on the keyboard, and you press P for peg, and it creates a peg on that camera. Now, I'm going to zoom the camera in. So I'm going to go to frame number 1. And when you go into the layer here, you can see that you have the camera here, and you have the peg for the camera. So I'm going to collapse this so that both the camera and the peg are in one group. And I'm going to go to the edge of the camera here, and I'm going to zoom in, I'm going to drag in diagonally. So notice that when I drag diagonally downwards like that, it zooms the camera in. When I drag diagonally out, it zooms the camera out. So that is how you actually zoom in and zoom with the camera. If I go to the edge of the camera border here, it will allow me to position the camera at different stages. So if I want to position it here or here, but I want to position it right here. Position him in the center, and I'm going to zoom in a bit more, grab the edge and position it, zoom out a little bit more. Now, you see what I did a while ago? I basically frame the character as how it should be framed. If I bring up back the animatic, you will notice that it is similarly. A part of the character is edge right here. We have a little bit of space at the bottom here. We have equal negative spacing on both sides of the character. So we start off by framing our character into the exact position. So whether if you're starting your scene off with a close-up of the character, you start off by positioning the camera as a close-up, by framing the character as a close-up. This is how it's usually done when they're framing up their characters. So when we drag to our timeline, the character will always be posed like that. Alright, so now we reach a stage where we can go ahead and start posing our character. We have our audio imported, we have the camera position framed, we have the character imported into our scene. Let us look at the information that we gathered from our animatic. So we know that at frame number 1, the character is standing and his eyes are opened. We also notice that his hands are at his side. Now if we go over, also I'm moving along the timeline in quick and clear. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by the camera. So if you notice, the camera starts off with a long shot. And we will move over, it zooms in to a close-up shot of the character. And we notice that this happens, the camera zooms in at frame number 26. So let us start off by animating the camera to a close-up shot of him. So we're going to simply go to the camera layer, and just like how we're adding in the software, like the body movement and so forth, we will animate the camera in the same way using keyframes. So we're going to start off by adding a keyframe at keyframe number 1 with the long shot here, and we're going to go to frame number 26. And that is where the camera zooms in. So here we have frame number 26, and I'm going to add another keyframe here to mark that position. Notice now we're seeing 2 keyframes on our camera layer. And now at frame number 26, I'm going to move the mouse here and drag diagonally inwards like that. And I'm going to frame with the close-up shot. To move the camera up, and I'm going to bring up because I want to make sure the frame is correctly. So this want to move over a little bit more. Want to make sure that he's centered. Also notice these 2 lines that you're seeing on his chest. You can also use that as a reference point, because if I was to go ahead and mask the camera right here, we can see that that is where the camera cuts off, just below the second marking on his chest. The same thing with the animatic. Notice that the marking is close off at the chest right here. So we have so I pause this at frame number 26. So when I drag back and forth, so if I was to press the play button now, we'll have the camera zooming in on his face. So the camera zooms in from frame 1 to 26. So we have that established already. We also notice that the eyes, they close at frame number 24. So we're going to pause that as well. So if we look at the animatic, I will look at, notice that when the camera zooms in, he closes his eyes. But we're not paying any attention to the mouth shape. Let's focus on the mouth. Focusing on the eye movement. When the camera zooms in, notice the eyes close. And that frame number 24. We're going to go to our animation. And we're going to look. We're going to slide. And we're going to substitute number 24. So we'll go to frame number 24 right here. And if I bring up my library tab, we're going to substitute it for when the eyes are closed. So notice that I substitute the drawing for when the eye is closed right here. I'm going to select this eye. I'm going to do the same. I'm using the substitution panel in the library panel right here. And I'm going to substitute it to when the eyes are fully closed. So what happens is that when we scrub in through a line, and when it reaches frame number 24, both of his eyes are going to close at frame number 24. Substitution happens at frame number 24. So we have that established based on the information that we have from our the eyes being closed at frame number 24, where the camera zooming in. All right. Now we notice that another event that happens is at frame number 61, and it happens where he moves to the right and his hands are up in the air. It's kind of like he's giving a shrug. So that happens at frame number 61. I'm going to unmask my camera because I feel comfortable working when I can see all of the character body parts. So we're going to go to frame number 61. And what I like to do, I'm going to mark this area along the, so we're going to go to the Dino Boy layer, and I'm going to add a keyframe right here at 61. And what I'm going to do is we're going to look at animatic at frame number 61. Notice that this is the pose in which we're going to try and catch right now. It's a simple pose. You're going to simply select the upper body and rotate him over to the right. Like that. Then we're going to select the arms. Maybe have them come up a little like that, and we're going to bend the arms like that. Just this arm right here, have that come up a bit, rotate it like that. Want to make sure that it matches up closely with the animatic. Notice that this arm has a sharper bend, so it needs to, the arms need to come up a little bit more like that. And notice that I am constantly looking at the animatic. So we have the character up through our animator. He stands upright. And when I scrub through the line, I come like that. I'm going to line along my keyboard and open up. You notice that you're seeing the key, all of the key poses are starting to tween from frame number 1 to frame number 61. And all of that is happening along the Dino Boy layer. So all of that is happening here in that group. However, I don't want to see the character tweening. So because if I was to play the animation, you will have the character slowly tweening like that. But now I have to see by pressing this button here, and what it will do, it will show him dumping straight. We're going to focus on the key poses of the character. So we'll have that first key pose established. Let us look at the The next key pose happens at frame 120, where the arms are folded. So look at the animatic at 120. Notice that the arms are folded. So we go to frame 120. So at frame 100, we're going to add another key right here. That's at frame 120. I'm going to go ahead and fold the arms like that. I'm going to like that. Now, this is very important that I'm going to undo what I just did. It is very important that you rotate the arms in this direction like that. Because if you rotate the arm like this is what it's going to actually rotate like that when you're animating it. So it's very important that when you're having him fold his arms, you rotate the character in this, the arm in this direction like this, and this arm, you rotate it in this direction like this. It records the move, whether it's, if you're rotating it counterclockwise, it will animate counterclockwise. If you're animating it clockwise, it will animate clockwise. So the direction in which you rotate your arm is very important that you know which direction it's in, because Toon Boom will record that direction as well. Now, we have where the arms are moving from here to the arms being closed like that. Now, when we look at the animatic, when it's moving from this pose to this pose, notice that we're only seeing where the arms are moving at this moment. However, you want to follow the animatic precisely as how it is. However, there are some cases where the animator will use his discretion and say, all right, if he's going to fold his arms, his arms are outwards like a shrug, and he's then folding his arms, his body must have some sort of movement to it. It would look very odd for him to be, because this is what it will look like. It will look like his arms are just moving like that, which will look very weird. What we want to do, we want to put a little bit of movement on it. So when his arms are folding, I'm going to animate the upper body moving slightly over to the left like that. So when his arms are being folded, we can see where there's movement of the body and his arms are being folded like that. Even though the animatic arms are just moving to the slight body shift on the camera, it's still this long tweening along our timeline. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn off the in-between. I can select here and turn off the in-between, and it won't show it will just show him moving from this key pose to that key pose. So we'll have that key pose established already. Now, at frame number 153, realize that the eyes are half open. 153 along the timeline. So notice that it moves to where the eyes are now half open on the animatic. So we're going to do the same thing in Toon Boom as well. Frame 153, and you can know by your on by looking right here in the corner to know what your frame is. 153. And I'm going to simply substitute the half open. And I'm using my bracket key as a shortcut to substitute them to be half open. So we'll have that drawing. So what's happening is that